Hey y'all, welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today is day 2 of Halloweek. So if you're ready, let's go. Alright y'all, so today's video is about a haunted house, and this house is known as one of the most haunted houses in America. This is the story of the Myrtles Plantation. So the Myrtles Plantation was a house that was built in the late 1700s by a man named David Bradford in St. Francisville, Louisiana. And this house is spectacular. It has 20 rooms, it has a wraparound porch, and it's a plantation house. So you know that it was built on too many damn acres, okay? Now, in this house, there are said to be at least 10 deaths that have occurred there, with one of the most famous deaths being that of a young girl named Chloe. And Chloe was a house slave to Mr. Bradford's daughter Sarah and to her husband Clark Woodruff. And like most slaves, Chloe was abused by her master, Mr. Woodruff. Physical, mental, emotional, sexual, you name it, Chloe was enduring this type of abuse. And in an effort to avoid any type of abuse that might come at the hands of Mr. Woodruff, Chloe decided to listen in to his personal conversations through a keyhole while he was in his, office area talking to whoever. And so she would listen through this keyhole to find out what triggered him. She wanted to know what things that slaves were doing or anything that she was doing that made Mr. Woodruff mad, because then that way she could avoid doing said things, so that way she would endure less abuse. Unfortunately, one day, Chloe was caught eavesdropping in on Mr. Woodruff's conversation. Now, it's unclear if Chloe was caught by Sarah, his wife, or Mr. Woodruff himself. But nonetheless, because of this, Mr. Woodruff ordered Chloe's ear to be cut off. And once again, it's unclear if Clark Woodruff did this himself or if he had another slave do this for him. But nonetheless, little Chloe's ear was indeed cut off. And in order to hide her new disformity, Chloe will wear a green turban around her head so that no one could see that she was missing an ear. And also, because of her eavesdropping, Chloe lost her privileges to the house. That meant that she now had to work in the field, which was way more difficult than being in the house. Now, for whatever reason, Chloe was allowed back into the house on Sarah and Clark's daughter's birthday, and she was the one who was to make the cake for their daughter. And Chloe devised a plan. She decided that she would make the Clarks really sick, okay? So while she was baking the cake, she put oleander leaves, which are very poisonous, inside of the cake. And her plan was she would make them sick and then she would nurse them back to health. And that way she would re-secure her spot back in the house. However, things didn't go as planned for Chloe, because instead of making Sarah and the 2 children sick like she had planned, she ended up killing Sarah and the children. And somehow, some way, everybody on the plantation found out about this. And instead of Mr. Woodruff reprimanding Chloe himself, the other slaves took it upon themselves to punish Chloe. And it is said that the slaves hung Chloe from a tree and threw her body into the Mississippi River. And let me just interject right here real fast, because I got to stick up for my ancestors, because ain't no way. I refuse to believe that any slave, okay, that any slave in America at this time would be hanging other slaves from trees on their own free will. I refuse to take this part of the story as actual factual. And I'm gonna just say that they were, if this did happen, for real, I'm gonna just say that Mr. Woodruff forced them to do it, because I really do refuse to believe that slaves hung another slave on their own free will. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was their idea. It wasn't their idea. I don't believe that. But anyways, back to the story. So after Chloe's death, there was another set of unfortunate events that would happen in this house. And that would be once the new owners took hold of the property. So M was a nice family man, his wife and their children. And he and 5 of his children died to tuberculosis, which at this time, if y'all didn't know, was running rampant across America. Like, it was a whole epidemic. It was almost like, you could think of like COVID, but just like on a smaller scale, but it was still like super major, okay? And so eventually the house would then be passed down to his surviving daughter and her husband, who was named William Winters. And he too would fall victim to the curse of this house. And his wife had already fallen victim to the curse of the house. I mean, her daddy and 5 of her siblings have already died. But now she would have to endure even more pain when one Sunday, William Winters was in the house teaching Sunday school, and somebody trollops up on horseback, and they calling out to Mr. Winters saying, you know, come outside, I got some business with you. And Mr. Winters steps on his porch, and as soon as he steps on the porch, he is met with gunfire. Now, as legend has it, Mr. Winters retreated back into the house, ran up 17 steps, and collapsed in his wife's arms and died there in the house. To this day, you can still visit the house, and there have been reports of people seeing a young girl walking around with a green turban on, and there's also been reports of people who hear loud stomping noises on the stairs. However, there's nobody there on the stairs. They just hear this noise. And also there's a mirror that's in a hallway across from the dining room, and there's 2 handprints at the top, and no matter how many times it is repolished, replaced, or cleaned, those same 2 handprints remain in the same spot on the mirror, and they're said to be that of Sarah's 2 children. And even during the filming of an episode of Unsolved Mysteries about this place, the crew members said that they experienced some paranormal activities themselves. So yeah, that is the legend of one of the most haunted houses in America. Now, while some of what I told y'all has proven to be mythical, and some of it might even be made up, majority of what I told you is based in truth. And now in 2022, the Myrtles Plantation is a bed and breakfast that you can stay the night at, and it also hosts tours where you can see some of the things that I talked about, like the mirror, the porch that Mr. Winters was shot on, and potentially even a young girl who is walking around in a green turban. So yes, I am so excited to know what you guys thought about this story. Do you guys believe this story? Do you guys believe that the Myrtles Plantation is in fact haunted, or do you think this is just a bunch of myths and a series of unfortunate events that happened to a bunch of people in this house? Or do you not believe it at all? Like, are you going to go visit this house? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you all tomorrow for day 3 of Halloweek. Bye. Hey y'all, welcome back. Nope. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today's video is Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today's video is number 2 of this day 2. I will see you all tomorrow for day 3 of Halloweek. No,